Hey everybody, it's Jen from Britical Saiyans here. Good start. And today I'm going through the green Ginyu, or Green-yu as I like to call it. I can do the rest of this fine, it's just the intro I'll screw up and then we're good. We've got great content. So to start with, we've got the leader, obviously. Its auto is the same on both sides, so when this card attacks, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a green Ginyu Force card with an energy cost of 2, you can play it, then draw a card. So obviously if you get Ginyu Force, you play it out, draw one. If it's anything else, you just draw that card, and it means your opponent knows what you're drawing. Yay! It's awakened, so if you're on 4 less life, or you have 4 more Ginyu Force cards in play, you can draw 2 and flip them over. So, well then we've got Ginyu going into Goku as always. So yeah, like I said, auto is the same thing. Attack, reveal, play Ginyu Force, draw a card. Whatever.
It's no specified cost as well though.
Yeah, energy cost of 2. But that's basically what the whole deck is made up of. And then its active battle is once per turn, you pay a green, choose one green Ginyu Force card in your battle area, and it gets 10k power for the battle. So, just adds a little bit of aggression to the little guys you're spawning out, which is pretty nifty.
Which you didn't even do.
Which I didn't do, because, yeah, I didn't really need to at the time. I'd rather put it on something that's going to make an impact. So to start with, we've got the extra cards. We have 4 copies of the 1-star ball Parasitic Darkness. So, permanent, it counts as a Dark Dragon Ball in all areas. Active battle, you can choose one of your cards that gets 5k power for the battle. So it's like a free combo piece basically. And its active main is choose one freeze card with an energy cost of 4 in your battle area and place this card under it. You play up to 1 green Freezer Xeno card from your deck or hand on top of the chosen card in active mode, then shuffle your deck if you look through it. So it's a free way to get your Xeno Freezers out. But obviously it has to be the green ones, but kind of the whole point of it anyway. So next we got a singular copy of Forced Breakthrough. So counterplay, if the leader is green and life is 4 or less, if the battle card being played has an energy cost of 3 or less, it's placed in the energy drop area instead of being played. And then the permanent is if you have multicolor energy, you can pay by taking a life. But it's a mono green deck, so meh. I do only have the 1 copy of this, but one of our Freezer Xenos lets us add cards back to our hand, so it means we can use the same card twice or more. So it's like having extra copies as long as you use that skill, which is pretty nifty. And finally, we have 2 copies of the Shocking Death Ball.
I was probably waiting to see any negates.
Yeah, well, I do have another negate in here, but it's a battle card. But it was also in my life. So, yeah, counter attack with its green, negate, then choose up to one of your opponent's cards with energy cost of 2 or less and KO it. And has Spark 5 condition of taking a life as long as it's 5 when you drop. Again, just really good negate for green in general. And because it's a 1-cost extra card, it's another target for our Freezer Xeno. So, you can basically double up on those by using his skill. Which is a nice way to look at it. Okay, so going into the battle cards. First bulk of our deck is 2 drops. There isn't any 1-cost cards in here. So yeah, that's how many 2 drops are in here, for context. So we have 4 Berta. Surprisingly it's going to be 4 of everything Ginyu Force, so, you know, bear with. So yeah, Berta is a 2-cost 15k, same as the other Ginyus. They all have unique. Berta has blocker, which is different from the others. And his auto is at the end of your turn, you switch him to active. Then you look up to 3 cards from the top of your deck and place them on top and or bottom in any order. So it's a nice bit of deck stacking. This deck does it a lot, just kind of like stacks itself, so obviously you're in more favour to get what you need. And if you've got like a bunch of stuff you don't need, you just put it to the bottom so that you have a better chance to see your Ginyu Force cards. And yeah, it's pretty nice that it's a blocker that can restand itself at the end of turn, so it's an attack and a guardian at the same time.
Pretty much that. I think that's what he did originally as a yellow back in the day as well.
Yeah,
Was it that one or was it a different one?
I think it was, like, a couple of them did just restand themselves. So yeah, I think Bertha was one that, like, restood and then, like, I can't remember. I can't pick up yellow Ginyu, I got green. So yeah, next we got 4 copies of Goldus Psycho Psychic. So yeah, like all of them, 2 cost 15 barb unique. So Goldo has 2 active mains. Its first one being, if your lead card is a green Ginyu Force and you discard this card from your hand, look up to 3 cards from the top of your deck, place them on top or bottom in any order. And the second act main is, once per turn, you look up to 5 cards from the top of your deck and place them on top or bottom in any order. So Goldo just stacks your deck either way. So you can either do it for free with a discard or 5 cards. So just stack. That's all the Ginyu Force really does, is stack itself. So next we've got Jace. And Jace's auto is, when this card attacks, you look up 3 cards from the top of your deck, add up to 1 Ginyu Force card amongst your hand, then place the remaining on top or bottom in any order. So it's pretty nice. He can just keep doing it as long as you can attack with him. And obviously more deck stacking is what you need, because you know, more Ginyus on top, blah blah blah. The deck stacks itself a lot. So, and for the final 2 costs in Ginyu Force wise, we have 4 copies of Raccoon the Musclehead. So Raccoon's auto is, if your lead card is a green Ginyu Force card, when this card is played, you choose up to 1 green Ginyu Force from the energy cost 2 in your hand and play it. So obviously, because you'll have unique, Raccoon can just play out one of these 3 for you. It means that you fill your board more. So it's what makes Raccoon pretty nice. And unlikely, obviously, doesn't stack the deck, but he does let you play one of them out, so it's a good trade-off. For next in our 2 drops, we have 4 copies of Freezer Terrifying Transformation. So it's a 2-drop 15k, and his auto is, when this card is removed from your battle area by an opponent's skill, you draw 2. So obviously you can't do your own skill to draw 2, it has to be your opponent. And its active main is, you pay a green and you choose up to 1 green freezer with an energy cost of 4 in your hand or drop area and play it on top of this card in active mode. So obviously you play this out next turn or whenever you can, you pay the 1, send him off, get the 4-drop freezer, attack on the freezer, play the Dark Star Ball, get your Xeno. So kind of a small evolution engine. And finally, for the 2 drops, we have our super combos, which is Defensive Stance Vegeta and Zarbon the Gorgeous. Yeah, they're both super combo. This one works on your life, and that one's for sparking. So I just run a 2-2 split because your drop can fill up quite quickly, and I don't run Self Awakening, so this is where he comes handy. But then if you're beaten down enough, you've got Zarbon as well. So that's just my personal preference. So we got a single 3-drop for the deck, and that is 2 copies of Zarbon Victory Over Beauty. So it's a 3-drop 20k power. He has counter attack of negate the attack and play him. And then his auto is, when this is played during your opponent's turn, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards, KO it, then choose up to 1 card in your opponent's hand and discard it. So that's my other counter for the deck, because it can play itself. You have 20k beat stick and you force your opponent to discard something, so just really good all round. And now we're going to the last section of the deck, which is the 4 drops. Again, quite chunky. And to start with, we have a singular copy of Energy Barrage Freezer. So he's got 20k, Double Strike and Barrier, and also when this card is played, well, when you play this card, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with Barrier, ignore Barrier, and KO it. So just KO something with Barrier basically. I only run one in here because I only have one. I would say run more. Depends how you want to do it.
What would you replace it with though?
I would probably, in all fairness, take out either one of each Freezer Xeno or maybe the Surprise Attack Freeze, but works out. Like, I don't know entirely. You could probably lose one each on the green Ginyus because they're a bit annoying to play out and they don't. Like, you can easily draw into them if you're doing your leader's effect, but like I said, I just run the one because I have one and this is just a funsy deck, so I'm not going to like spend the extra cash to get more. So, well, yeah, it's another forecast freeze is the main thing. Next we have 3 copies of Freezer Cosmic Horror. So, like I said, 4-drop, 20k with dual attack, and he has the auto, when this card is played, you choose one of the following effects. So you either choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and KO it, or you choose up to one of your opponent's unison cards and remove a marker from it. So, obviously pretty useful, because on place you can do one of two things. Removing a marker could KO the unison card, but at the same time you can just KO something, and then you can swing them twice before evolving them into a Xeno Friezo. Xeno Freezer, not Friezo. New nickname, Friezo.
Freezer's distant cousin.
Friezer's Spanish cousin, El Friezo. Anyway. So next we got 3 of Freezer Dark Infestation. So it's got 15k, Double Strike and Unique. Both the Xeno Freezers in the set have Unique. There's probably more like as promos, but again, not really putting the money into that. Haven't really checked, so. So yeah, his auto is when this, if your opponent has 3 or more energy, when this card is removed from a battle layer by a skill or KO'd, add up to 1 green extra card with an edge cost of 1 or less from your drop area to your hand. So in this deck, our targets are all our extra cards, being these 3, because it says 1 or less, so you can get the ball, the shocking death ball, or the breakthrough. And then his active main is you place it in the orange drop, choose up to 1 card in your opponent's hand and discard it. So you can just be like, well, swing, use the active main, drop it, make a discard, then use his auto straight away to add a card back. Which is a bit dirty, but it's kind of the main beat of your deck, so. We have 3 copies of the other Xeno Freezer, which is Freezer Powermonger. So this one has Deflect. Its auto is exactly the same. So if you have 3 or more energy, when it's removed from battle area / KO'd, choose a green extra card with an energy cost of 1 or less and add it to your hand from your drop area. So, in fact, we can have kind of like a low number on these because we have 6 ways of getting them back, so it means you technically have more, like, you could to an extent use this 7 times. Just saying. It's excessive, but you could do it in theory. He also has the active battle of you pay a green and 2 of energy, and he gains 15 and double strike for the battle. So becomes a 30k double striker, which is pretty nifty. But kind of relies on your opponent getting rid of him, unlike the other one. Next we have 2 copies of Surprise Attack Freezer. So he has 15k in critical, and you can, so it's also as you activate the skill when your opponent's battle card is KO'd. If you don't have another copy in play, you can play it from your hand. So run the 2 of this because A, I have 2, B, don't really need a large number, and C, like, if anything dies and you don't have one to play, you can slap one down for free. And then of course, like the other 4 cost freezers, you can shove the Dragon Ball under it, play a Xeno on top. Well, hey. So, just more options there. Now we're moving to the 4 cost Ginyus instead of freezers. So we have 4 copies of Ginyu Backbone of the Force. So he has 15k, and the active main of, if you have at least one Raccoon, Jace, Berta and Goldus in play, you can play this from the hand, and then you can't play any other copies for the turn. So as long as you have the Ginyu Force out, you can play Ginyu, which it says if you have at least one of each, which you can only have one of each anyway, so as long as you have the others in play, you can play Ginyu.
It's if you try to do like a multicoloured deck, isn't it?
True, yeah, you could run that in the yellow. Didn't think about that. Good point.
Or red.
Oh, yeah. Oh. Right, so his auto is when this card is played, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and gain control of it. If you gain control of a card, you give this card to your opponent. So you swap cards, basically. But it's kind of Ginyu stick. So next I have 3 copies of Ginyu Helix Strike. So he is yellow. It's the only yellow in the deck, so the only way you can play him is if you charge 2 and then you'd only get to play one of them. So he's got double strike and 20k, but he's in here for his active main. So active main, you pay 1, place this card in the end, it's dropped from hand. If you lead the card is a Ginyu, surprise. You look up to 3 cards from the top of your deck, choose up to 1 Ginyu Force card among them, add to your hand, then place the remaining cards on the bottom. So again, deck stacking. If you add any card to your hand, choose up to 1 Ginyu Force card from your hand with an energy cost of 2 or less and play it. So, really good in any kind of Ginyu based build you go for. Like in this one, it works out pretty well because I could play this card, add a card, and then maybe I just go, oh, well, I'll place Raccoon, and then Raccoon skill can let me place another one. So I could add a card and then play 2 battle cards out for free. Well, for 1 energy. Which is pretty good.
Where does that Ginyu come from?
That is from the Ultimate Box, I think.
The Ultimate Box of Anniversary.
EX06, I can't remember which one that is, because...
Yeah. Just for those who don't know about that Ginyu or haven't seen it or not noticed, it's just more of a...
Yeah.
I know where it's from.
Yeah, I think it is the Anniversary Collection, but... I've just had it for a long time, just haven't bothered with it until I was trying to build this deck, so...
Especially for those of you only just coming into Dragon Ball now for set 10.
Yeah.
And
if you're just coming into it, you should look at this, I'd reckon. I'd definitely recommend it. You could put 4. I'm only running 3 because essentially, once you've activated 2 of this, the deck plays the rest of them for you, so you kind of don't want to. And you don't need to at the same time, so... But 3 is consistent enough for you to see it. And the final card of the deck, which we have 4 copies of, is Ginyu the Body Snatcher. So this guy has a lot of text on him. So he's got 20k double strike, permanent. This gets minus 10k power during your opponent's turn. His active main is you choose 1 battle card to gain control from your opponent with one of your skills, and you place it in their drop area to play this card from your hand. So when this guy nicks an opponent's battle card, you can then get rid of it to play this out. And then its auto is, if you lead a card that's a green Ginyu Force, so which obviously is, when this card is played, choose all of your green Ginyu cards in your battle area and you get plus 10k power for the turn. So, obviously in combination with, not Raccoon, where did I put him? This guy. It's kind of how you close out the game, so you'd place Ginyu out, take something of your opponent's, attack with it, then you'd get rid of it, place this out, and because you should have one of each Ginyu force in play as well, you'll gain 10k. So they swing for 25, he's swinging for 30, and then you can, if you want to, usually the skill to make him a 40 double strike. So, as long as you can get them all out, which, if you saw our game, I struggled, because Matt kept killing them, so I had to keep getting rid of them, so that was fun. But anyway guys, that's my Ginyu Force deck profile. Leave any thoughts and opinions in the comments, we'd love to read them, and as always, I'll see you next time. Bye!